All right, game five, Vampire Counts. My opponent over there is Tim, and when we started the game, he shook my hand and told me this was his last game of Warhammer 8th Edition ever, which was kind of sad. The whole time I was a little bittersweet. My opponent was a great guy, really nice, very funny. We had a really good time playing. This time he's got just to let you know, he's got a double blunderbuss in the middle center unit, the little reddish unit that you see in the center of his three big infantry units. It's all zombies basically across the board. 3 units of zombies. This vampire count list was interesting and it kind of frightened me. So he's got 3 units of zombies, a handful of units of dogs, and he's got 4 individual units, 3 or 4 of these units of Vargeists, and little groups of 4. And man, that's scary because those are each individually capable of wiping out all my war machines, and it's a lot to shoot. On the far right, that you don't see unless the next picture you have it, is his Terrorgeist, another one of these units of Vargeists. He's got them way, way right. And I was actually pretty happy about that. I wanted the points from the Terrorgeist, but I figured if it was way off in the other corner and I was in this left-hand corner, I wasn't going to see it till the bottom of the game. If it came in at that time and I hadn't already killed his Vampire Lord and actually won the game doing that, I was screwed anyway, so I wasn't too worried about it. But I did deploy my cannon to the right, and I got an organ gun basically right-ish on top of the hill. I got my quarrelers there and my grudge thrower, so I'm in a pretty good position with that. This is my move post Vanguard, and then my first turn. I just kind of bring my gyrocopters out. My goal is I got to deal with his chaff, so I got to deal with his dogs, and then I need to pin his Vampire Lord's unit in place, set up a double charge, and pop it with my units. Or just burn it down. I'm a little afraid of burning it down, though. If I just blow the unit up, he either hops into one of the other zombie units, or he lets them run around on their own. I can't stop them, and they'll kill all my war machines, and hell, one of them can probably murder my infantry units all on their lonesome because they're both blenders. So I actually have to keep the vampires in their unit, and then I have to pop the unit. It's kind of a tall order, but I should win the chaff war, and then I should be able to use my gyros to do the job. That's my strategy. That's my plan. There's his Terrorgeist over there on my right. And yeah, his other his units of Vargulfs are there. Maybe he had 3. Anyways, you see he's got 2 units of Vargeists, and then he's got the ones behind his units. That's scary stuff. Turn 1, I kill a couple of Vargulfs, have a great cannon shot, right? Kill 1, kill 2, and then put a couple of wounds on the Terrorgeist. That's all good. He moves up. Moves his units up. My units are obviously in his backfield. You see that I move my gyrocopters up at turn 1. He's got his Vargeists in there kind of guarding his backfield. He turns them so he can charge my gyrocopter. I forget about those stupid dogs in the corner, but at the end of the day it actually winds up working out to my advantage. I'll show you why. So, okay, this is much later in the game. We had some tactics, so I didn't take some pictures. So his dogs charged that gyro at one point, and I fled and managed to get in the way of the zombies, double charge out, whatever. The shenanigans happen, and my gyrocopter manages to get away and survive. This is just before the end of the game, so all 3 of my gyrocopters are alive. They've come over here. I've done some shooting. The Terrorgeist is still alive. I think I've killed one of the groups of Vargeists, put some wounds on the other, so I'm doing a good job with all my shooting. It's doing its job. I've killed all the units of dogs I need to kill to know that I've won the chaff war. So I set up this double flee, and I do it on purpose because what I want him to do, he can't really reform effectively because he's so tightly packed in with his own 2 zombie units. So I set up this double flee, and here's my plan. He charges the first gyro, it flees. He charges the second gyro, it flees. He goes up, 3 to 6 inches, and that should put him into range of a double charge from Hammerers and Longbeards, ideally in the flank. At that point, I can move that third gyro in place to protect the flank of the Longbeards, pop the central unit, game over. This is a shot of my cannon for some reason because I tried to hit the Terrorgeist and failed. And there's the Vargeists creeping up. They'll be in danger zone next turn on my right-hand side. You see my gyrocopter there? That's from the double flee. So this is what happens. Kind of a bad picture, but he does the double flee. My Longbeards are in his flank. My Hammers are in his front, and I have barely enough clearance past that gyro that fled to get into his front. I got lucky. My gyro fled very little. I think he killed one of the ones that fled, actually, now that I think about it. He murdered one of them. The other one had fled. The dog charge, is that what happened? Anyway, I don't remember. Anywho, I'm able to get past that gyro in the center that you see. And this is what happens. I get just past the gyro, front and flank. This is the first game that my list worked as intended. My war machines were hitting when they needed to hit, my guns were shooting well, and my charges went off. So I got Longbeards in the flank, I got Hammers in the front, he's got two of his Blender Lords in there, he's got a White King in there. He moves his characters around at the beginning, his Stryoga Google King comes over and fights into the Longbeards, but doesn't do very many wounds. I pop the Fiery Ring of Thori, I roll 11 hits, I do 9 wounds. After all is said and done, we give him a righteous beatdown in the center of the field, and that's the end of the game. There's Tim, great guy. When the Vampire Bus pops, he crumbles off his other guys, he realizes that it's over, and he goes ahead and concedes, and that is the end of Tim's Warhammer career, which is kind of sad, actually. He's going to be playing Kings of War now, but as will I. Anyway, just about the tournament in general, I took a slightly softer list than last year. This room is one of the hardest rooms, I think, in Warhammer. You get a lot of people playing really hard lists. You get a lot of people playing some soft lists, but most people bring the pain. This time I brought 3 gyros and 4 war machines. Last year I had an extra cannon, 2 gyros, and I split that unit of Quarrelers into 2. And I think I paid for it. Having no redundancy on the cannons really hurt me in Game 2, and having no redundancy on cannons to deploy them actually made little snipe shots and stuff in Game 3 impossible for me. At the same time, I think I didn't play as well this year as I did last year, and I definitely didn't play as well as I did up at Lone Wolf. My opponents outplayed me in 3 different games. I just got lucky in Game 4. And I wound up like 16th overall. My paint score was a little lower than I expected or had hoped. I worked pretty hard on my army. Wound up with only getting a couple more points than I got last year, which was unfortunate. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure what I need yet. If I had some better pictures of the army, I could put them up. Anyway, I had a good time. I got a little too drunk Saturday night. I don't think I'll be doing that again for a while just because I'm sick of trying to play hungover. It's just not something that I enjoy. So I have one more opportunity to win a tournament with Dwarves before the end of 8th edition as we know it in the southern region. I got one more shot at Alamo, and I have to decide if I'm just going to go soft and try to win on who they match me with and have a good time and just drink and have fun, or if I'm going to try to go and really play hard and bring as strong a list as I can make and go from there. Things I think I learned. I think I need... there's some things about 8th edition I'm really going to miss, and there's some things about 8th edition I'm not going to miss. I'm definitely not going to miss big level 6 spells. That's going to go away with Kings of War, and that's exciting. And I'm definitely not going to miss the whole concept of a Death Star. The couple of things about 8th that everybody complains about. I mean, I love 8th edition, but I think moving on to this new game system, I think it's going to be a little bit more balanced. I'm looking forward to becoming a better general as a result. I'm looking forward to learning how to move better and how to position myself better than I do now. But, I got one more big tournament, 8th edition. I'm really excited for it. Had a great time at Bayou Battles. It is, as always, a really entertaining thing. I was 4th down in inches from winning the Giant Bash. Damn you, Jim Bailey. But came in 2nd on that one, unfortunately. I had a great time with that, and, had fun at night, and had great, beautiful armies, and all that was really good. So thanks for listening, and I'll talk to you when I next have a battle report.